Hello, just waiting a couple seconds to see if there's some additional people that join in here. And people might just kind of pop in when they can. So really, we've got a lot of questions to go through today. So I hope everybody had an awesome weekend and happy Monday. And I'm going to share the screen. And we'll just start going through these questions. So hopefully everybody can see the screen here. Just a reminder that here's kind of the weekly lineup of Zoom calls. So we obviously have the Monday Zoom call where it's question answer style with me. And then Tuesdays, for those of you who have not had a binder review yet, we have an opportunity for you guys to come on to a Zoom call and we'll go through some binder specifics and get your binder questions answered. Then we have the Wednesday Zoom call, the typical Wednesday Zoom call with Dr. Connors. And then Thursdays, we will have the 2 o'clock genetic review. These are all obviously Central Standard Time. So if you guys want to screenshot that, you certainly can. And the genetic review, binder review, so those are for people who have not already done that. Okay. All right. So, and another little reminder here to submit your Zoom call questions through the membership page. They're on almost every page. They're at the top bar. There's the little blue button, the submit a question button. It brings up this box where you would fill out your name, email, phone number, and your Zoom question. So it's just a way to keep it all organized and in one place for us. So it's easy for us to just pull the questions from that format, and therefore we're less likely to miss questions. So thank you. We had a lot of questions come in today, or over the weekend, or since Dr. Connors' call last Wednesday. So here is the first question, a question about the foot baths. So this person says they took off their toenail polish because she wondered if it was toxic. So she's had no nail polish on her toes for a while. I've noticed that in doing the foot baths, my toenails are starting to look yellow. I'm guessing that it is from soaking in what turns into pretty gross water the longer my feet are in them. Is there something that I can do to prevent that? Are there nail polishes available that are okay and can cover it? So as far as toenails becoming discolored, we have had a number of patients who have commented on that. And yes, are kind of relating it to the foot bath. Now, could it be from the high frequencies? Possibly. Yeah, just your feet are in that water. The goal is to get the high frequencies from the Ion ProWave array to enter through your body, through your feet. So certainly, I don't know, something with those higher frequencies could be causing some discoloration. Certainly could be from the minerals in the water as well. And yes, anybody who's done a foot bath knows that the water does get pretty gross and murky looking. So it could be from that. So I'm not sure. So there's no, true answer on why it's happening, other than, it's happened to other people as well. I don't know what you can do to prevent that other than potentially just, really cleaning your nails after each foot bath. Maybe if you have like a little scrub brush thing and you can kind of really clean your nails afterwards. And then as far as nail polishes that might be less toxic, yes, you certainly can find some nail polishes that are less toxic that could cover it. I pulled up, or I took a screenshot of this website. So this is the Environmental Working Group, and this is their Skin Deep database. So you can certainly do a search for this, or you can just type in this URL, and this is a great tool. They have an app that you can download to your phone, or like I said, you can just type it in on the computer and you can do searches for different products. So there's It's a huge database of products. So the goal of this is to try to get less toxic products into the hands of people. So you can see on this bottom bar here, there's makeup, nails, face and body personal care, fragrances. So you can type in, again, a brand, and sometimes that brand or that exact product is within the database, and it'll give you a score for each ingredient, kind of a toxicity rating. Sometimes they might not have the specific product, but you can look up the ingredients in the product that you're curious about, and you can get the score of the individual ingredients and see how they rate. So certainly a great tool to use as you're trying to kind of transition your products. Nail polish, I did not type nail polish in there. I did do kind of a quick Google search on just non-toxic nail polish, and there were definitely some brands that came up. So you might just take one of those brands, type it in the this app here, and see what it comes up with as far as a toxicity rating, and kind of make your decision based on that. So a good tool to have for everyone to utilize. The next question, is there any testing that can be done on the mucus coming out of my breast? The nipple is ulcerated and has been leaking various fluids for almost 3 years. Doctors say the only test is a biopsy. I was previously concerned about a biopsy causing seeding. Now the masses are so big and the ulceration so deep, I don't know what to do. So as far as I'm aware of, there's not a specific test that could be done on the mucus itself. Certainly, this is a common thing that happens with breast cancer, with a breast cancer diagnosis. And it's one of the, kind of signs that something obviously is going on within the breast tissue if there's mucus coming out of the breast. So I don't know of a test that can be done specifically on the mucus. Certainly there's other tests that you can do to kind of gauge where you're at as far as, a tumor. We've talked a lot about tumor marker tests and tracking that way. So, those can be handy. I'm not sure what you are looking to find out from a test, really a confirmed diagnosis. So this would be a symptom of a confirmed diagnosis. So I'm not sure what a specific test on the mucus what type of information you're looking for. Certainly, yes, we know that a biopsy can kind of spread. There is potential for it to spread cancer. And so that is one of the reservations. So really the question in any type of conventional testing is what, with the results of a specific test, what would you do with that information? So if you know you're not going to do any conventional care, then it's not really necessary for you to do conventional testing or scanning, because it's not going to affect your care. So if a test or scan would potentially change your mind, make you do some chemotherapy or maybe a procedure, a surgery, or who knows, then certainly, yes, you can do a conventional scan or a biopsy, and, then proceed with whatever the results give you, proceed with, whatever you think might be the best course of action. Next question, I have increasing pain in the chest, sternum, and radiating out from there to muscles in the chest and back and armpits for 4 months. My PCP recommends a chest x-ray. Is this a wise thing to do? So kind of along the same lines as the previous question, we cannot tell any of our patients to have any conventional scans. We really have to stay in our lane. I know it's hard. People are looking for us to give wisdom and provide, answers. But really, we have to be very strict with this and stick in our lane. We are here for Rife Therapies. We're here to support you with diet and nutrition, with prayer. And ultimately, your care is in your hands. So you need to be the one making the decisions on what you're doing. as far as anything conventional. So we encourage patients to pray. We encourage patients to obviously, yes, weigh the pros and cons. And if the results of a conventional scan would sway your decision on your care and potentially make it so that you might get conventional care, then, certainly by all means get a conventional test done. As far as pain is involved, a chest x-ray for pain, I don't know if pain is kind of the thing that we're trying to address here, if an x-ray would be necessary to just help with pain, obviously to see what the cause of the pain would be. So certainly you can do it if you would like to know more details. Some people need to know the details for peace of mind. And so conventional scans and tests can be a great way to get that peace of mind. And for pain, Dr. Connors has done a lot of videos on pain. There is a video that is called Good Pain, Bad Pain. I know it's on our blog, on our regular website. I'm sure it's posted on the patient membership site as well as a video. So you can just search for that, Good Pain, Bad Pain, and it kind of walks through some of the reasons why we have pain, and can kind of put your mind at ease as to what your pain might be from. He goes through, yes, pain can be because of tumor growth. Obviously, we don't want that. And so things, we might need to do some retesting with a cheek swab to see if we need to change anything with your protocol. There's certain things that you can do, supplements you can take to help decrease inflammation. That can help with pain. So he goes through specific supplements. Coffee enemas can be really helpful for pain, and, multiple coffee enemas in one day. The more pain that you have, they say, the more coffee enemas you should do. So 5 or 6 coffee enemas a day if your pain is really bad. That helps to stimulate the vagus nerve, which helps reduce the sensation of pain. So pain is one thing, figuring out the reason why the pain is happening, and then dealing and managing the pain. Because if pain is good, pain can be because of a therapy that we're doing. Rife therapy can cause some pain. We're sending the immune system to those cancer cells. We're attacking those cancer cells. We're hoping that those cells are dying. That die-off process can cause some pain, certainly inflammation and swelling. And so if therapy has just started, and the pain is localized to the cancer site specifically, typically we look at that as more of a good pain versus a tumor growth bad pain. He goes over in this video referred pain as well. So pain that can be just referred, you might have shoulder pain that's not due to anything wrong in the shoulder, but could be from something along the cervical spine, or, could be from liver gallbladder. So he goes through a number of these scenarios and then things that you can do to help with pain. So I encourage everybody to watch that if you're wondering about pain. It's a very common question that we get, and it is scary. Pain can be scary. We automatically, with cancer diagnosis, tend to jump to the conclusion that tumors are growing if there's pain. And yes, that can be the case, but it's not always the case, especially when there's other therapies involved. So certainly watch that video. It's a good one. And there's probably a number of other videos on pain as well. So I encourage you to do a search for that. We are planning a vacation and would like to take our coffee enema supplies with us. Have you any experience with making a concentrated coffee to bring and just add clean water when we use it there? Yes, absolutely. You can do that. Many people do that, make it just a concentrated version, so they're not having to make up the coffee every single day, and then they're just adding water to it to dilute it before the enema. So that's perfectly fine. I have been taking a product from a company that is a NRF2 activator, and they just came out with a collagen that increases SOD 27 times, and blood catalase level increases 202%. Would this be helpful for breast cancer? So NRF2, SOD, catalase, so these are all antioxidants that can help, of course, with reactive oxygen species, so can neutralize those free radicals. Free radicals can cause tissue damage and certainly can be a cause for cancer, cellular damage. So NRF2, SOD, and catalase are all genetic pathways that we look at. The person that submitted this question, I do not believe their genetics have come back yet. So we certainly could dig deeper into this when we have that information back. But that being said, SOD and catalase are absolutely fine to take. They certainly could be helpful with a breast cancer diagnosis. They could be helpful with any cancer diagnosis. So yeah, I don't see the harm in taking that. And then we can look further at genetics and see, you might have some defects in SOD and catalase that, promote different, free radicals, and so could be helpful. All right, next question. I have been learning a bit about greens powders and wondered what the clinic's thoughts are on powders with grasses in them, like wheat and barley. It's hard to find powders without them in them. I would like to stay away from the lectins if I can or should. So so certainly when we think of wheat and we think of barley, yes, those contain gluten. Those are grains. So gluten is part of the grain, so the seed or the root of those wheat and barley. But what is in the greens powders, or certainly at least with our greens powder or greens first, is wheat grass and barley grass. So that is different. It is not the seed or the root, and so they do not contain gluten. Wheatgrass, barley grass does not contain gluten, therefore does not contain the lectin. So you want to make sure you're using, a reputable company for your greens product, because if the grasses are not harvested properly, they could contain some of those seeds and roots, therefore not be, gluten-free or lectin-free. So certainly you want to watch for that. But the Greens First powder does not contain gluten, because it is, again, the wheat grass and barley grass. And we certainly encourage greens powders. It's typically part of most of our patients' protocol here, the Greens First. All right, the next question, another histamine question. By leftovers, does that mean any leftovers, or what is the time period that is considered okay? A day or two maybe. What about meat? In an ideal situation, what is best to do? That is the last histamine this person has to eliminate. So yes, so leftovers, anytime food is left sitting, obviously in the refrigerator, but it is going to start to break down. That process does create histamine. So I would say you would probably want to consume your leftovers within about a 24-hour time frame. If you're not going to eat it within that 24-hour time frame, freeze it. And then you can freeze it in, individual portions, so you can easily kind of reheat, warm it up. And then that would be okay. So about 24 hours. And nice work. It's hard to eliminate a lot of those high histamine foods. So good job on that. Do you have a protein powder that you recommend, or should I stay away from them? I would like to have one possible in case I'm traveling and can't get clean food. Or is the food better in my situation? So certainly you can do a protein powder. We do have a couple different protein powders that we recommend for our cancer patients available on our web store. They're by US Enzymes. So there is a chocolate version or there is a vanilla version. It's just called Protein Zyme, so Protein XYM, and it's a vegan protein, so there's no dairy in it. It does contain some digestive enzymes, so it is going to help, process foods. Does contain some superfoods in there, so you can take a look at that. If I am doing the rebounder for 15 minutes plus a day, would I benefit from dry brushing also, or is that overkill? You certainly can benefit from both of them, and I do not think it is overkill. So if you're doing the rebounder for 15 plus minutes, in the morning, then I would just say maybe you do your dry brushing in the evening. So separate them out a little bit, and yeah, just continuing to work on movement of that lymph, getting rid of that waste and processing that is great. So it's not overkill. Dr. V referenced a study that found reishi mushroom should be avoided by people with hormone positive cancers. Since that is me and the reishi mushrooms are in the medicinal mushrooms, I am wondering about that also. Is there a reishi free version available? I'm going to defer this question to Dr. Connors. I don't know of the specific study that you are referencing, and I am not aware of this link, but certainly could be possible, absolutely. So a lot of times when patients are tested, with our kinesiology, doing our testing, it might be a product that they thought, oh, I, maybe shouldn't have this, or I read a study about that. And but certainly with testing, there is most likely a component in that product, obviously, that is helping balance cancer for you. So, we kind of stick to our recommendations based on our testing. And it might be that maybe you need, a specific nutrient from that product for a certain amount of time, and it could change. So not saying that you have to be on it for forever, but I will pass on this question to Dr. Connors, and for the Wednesday Zoom call, maybe he can dig a little deeper into this particular study and the link between reishi mushrooms and hormone positive cancers. I just received a voicemail from this person's provider saying that they want to get her on a schedule for a fine needle aspiration. She looked it up, and that is a biopsy. Not sure that is good. Does that spread cancer? They're going to call within the hour. So she's wondering what to do. And then kind of another issue, when she met with the hematologist, he said he would possibly prescribe iron. He said he would test for iron and vitamin B12. So, okay. So talking about a biopsy. So we kind of just briefly spoke about this. And again, it falls into the category of us legally and ethically not being able to answer this question and tell you what you should do. So I do apologize. I know it is so hard, and you're trying to make the best decision, and you're looking to us for guidance. And unfortunately, again, just legally and ethically, we cannot answer that. And we have had to become a lot more strict in that and trying to stay in our lane of natural health and not making conventional recommendations. So we can't answer that, but certainly we encourage you to do what you feel is best, to use prayer. Sometimes when we're faced with a decision and we feel the pressure from the conventional side, I think that's the biggest thing, is they feel like they need to answer right away. So allow yourself time. There's nobody forcing your hand on all of this. So if you don't feel comfortable making a decision because you haven't had time to grapple with it, to pray about it, to have peace about it, then you need to do that. So take the time that you need to do that. And then when you are ready, you can let the doctor know what your decision is, and then you will be ready. You can, approach that therapy with peace and with confidence. And so that's what you need to do. Regarding B12 and iron, low hemoglobin. So certainly we need to kind of look at labs. Dr. Connors can evaluate labs, and obviously iron can feed cancer. Many patients struggle with low iron. And so it's kind of a predicament. What do? We don't want to give iron because iron can feed cancer, but symptoms and effects of low iron on the body are not obviously desirable as well, and need to be addressed. So depending on where you're at, we can try to do things. We have our iron artemisinin protocol. If we need to implement that, we can. There's foods that are high in iron. Vitamin C also helps with iron absorption. And then with the combination of the artemisinin, taking that about an hour after you're taking an iron supplement, artemisinin will piggyback with that iron. And so if the cancer cells are uptaking some of that iron, they're also getting the artemisinin, which, the goal is to then, that's a cancer fighter. So destroy those cancer cells with the artemisinin. So that would be, maybe a first line approach. And if that doesn't help, and a patient's hemoglobin drops to that point where, okay, we need to make some decisions here, an iron transfusion might be recommended. And certainly if that is the scenario you're in, then that's most likely what you will need to do. And Dr. Connors has talked about the difference between taking iron orally and getting an infusion, and it doesn't quite affect the cancer cells the same way. So if you're doing an iron infusion, you don't have to worry that, oh my gosh, I'm just totally feeding the cancer cells here. It's processed differently. And so, you can feel confident in just knowing that, okay, your iron is that low, you do need to get that infusion. But we'll try everything that we can from a natural perspective to increase that iron. Certainly vitamin B12 plays a role, and you can supplement with B12, but we do want to make sure it's in the right form. We don't want methylated versions of B12. And okay, next question. I noticed in the last week or so that the lump on my neck continues to grow and is much larger. So experiencing stabbing pains in that area. Sleep is being, it's disruptive to sleep. The growth is causing the area to impinge on nerves, and so the neck is affected. So a lot of pain and discomfort. First, I thought it was because of the Rife machine and the protocol we were working, and that my body was fighting the cancer, thus causing additional inflammation in that area. But now I don't know. And I'm scared because I'm in a lot of pain and unable to sleep and get my rest. So yes, absolutely a vicious cycle there. When I get up and move around, it seems to help alleviate the pain, but it feels tight and there remains a dull pain. At this point, I'm at a loss and I don't know what to do. So I wanted to reach out with any suggestions you might have. So again, referring you to that Good Pain, Bad Pain video. It's a great video that I think will put your mind at ease. So yes, can be related to growth, tumor growth, but in this case, because we're kind of early in the process here, we're beginning, with the Rife and all of the supplements and the therapies. So I do think that this particular person's pain is most likely associated with the cancer therapy. Still, obviously, yes, very scary. It may be, just the nerves in the skin itself. When the tumor is that close to the surface and kind of stretching the skin, that can cause a lot of pain. So things that we can do to help alleviate the pain, you can do ice packs, or you can do anti-inflammatory supplements that Dr. Connors goes through in that video. CurcuClear is one of those. Clear and Flam is a great supplement, just a lot of different herbs. A synergistic blend of things to help combat inflammation. CBD, THC. So THC is probably going to be the strongest natural thing that can reduce pain. Certainly some therapies, TENS units can, decrease pain sensation. I mentioned coffee enemas earlier, so certainly coffee enemas, I can't remember if this person is doing coffee enemas or not, but can try those, and then, multiple in a day to stimulate that vagus nerve. In everyone's binder, there's a list of vagus nerve exercises, and so get familiar with those. And so if there is some pain, some of those things can be really helpful. A lot of those things on that list, they may seem a little silly, like, you know, gargling and singing, but certainly they can help with pain. And again, this person in particular, I do think that it is associated with the therapies and not tumor growth. Of course, we can't say that for sure, but we have to just weigh the scenario, you know, kind of look at other things that might be going on, and kind of gauge. And then certainly with the passage of time, you know, is this continuing? Is this intermittent? You know, we can gauge as well, but check out that video on pain. Okay, let's see here. So this person has breast cancer. She's doing the black salve topical. So she is letting us know that the eschar fell off, so she reapplied the salve to the entire open wound on July 1st. The pain was intense, but has since subsided and less frequent. I've noticed more pain and swelling in her armpit. Tightness in the left arm seems to come and go. The entire left breast is very hard and tender. How do I know if I should treat other areas of my breast, or should I expect that the black salve will draw it all towards the existing wound? So certainly with the black salve, there needs to be pretty close or direct contact to the cancer cells themselves by an open wound in order for it to have an effect. So if you put it on another part of your breast that doesn't have kind of that direct or very close to the surface of the skin exposure, there most likely wouldn't be any reaction at all. So I would just continue to put the black salve on the wound itself. And yes, the goal of that is that it is drawing. It is drawing it from other parts of the body. That's probably why you feel the sensation and tightness in your arm. The area is tender and hard. So that is the reaction of the black salve. And so I would just continue to putting it on to apply that to the existing open wound. All right, my husband is having fluid buildup in his lungs from his lung cancer. Are there some recommendations to help with reducing and improving, reducing the fluid and improving the breathing? So yes, there are some things that you can do with the Rife machine. So everybody in their binder has these pages here. It's a list of, I don't even know, probably 15 pages for Rife programs for symptoms. So look at these. So anybody, you know, we've talked a lot about pain. So anybody who is experiencing pain, these programs can help alleviate some pain. Pain Bio 1, Pain Bio 2, muscle pain and tightness, anything to reduce inflammation can help with pain as well. So you have the Rife. So use this tool to help with your symptoms. So pain, go through that. There's more listed than just these here. So you can run any of these programs and see if they help to alleviate some of your pain. Specifically for fluid buildup, edema, or ascites, these are programs that you can run. So I would definitely try those. Here's Rife frequencies for swelling as well. You can try these as well. For this specific scenario, and many times with ascites, you do need to get the fluid drained in order to alleviate the symptoms. So shortness of breath, inability to, you know, take a deep breath can be alleviated by getting the fluid drained. So that might be necessary and can provide immediate relief, but certainly these things can help. So I would try these things and go from there. Let's see. I think we've gotten through the questions that came in. So I'll open up the chat here and see. Okay. The type of mushrooms that are in the Miracle Mix 1. I have 2 other bottles of mushrooms and I want to stop doubling up on supplements due to cost. So I don't know the list of all of the mushrooms that are in the Miracle Mix #1, but you can go to our web store and just type in Miracle Mix #1 and the list is there. There's probably about 10 different mushrooms. It is a blend. So you can look that up and then, yeah, you can compare with the supplements that you currently are taking and kind of eliminate. So yes, that it can get costly. So yeah, so do that. Okay, next question here. I've heard a lot about Halen and I'm wondering about adding this to my protocol. Do you test me to see if this would be good for me? So yes, so Halen 951 is a product that many of our breast cancer patients take. We do test patients for it. So if we have not put you on it, it is most likely because it did not test as being necessary, at least for now. But what this product does is it helps to dislodge the dirty estrogens that are blocking the receptor sites, the hormone receptor sites on the cancer cells. And this is beneficial because if those dirty estrogens are blocking those sites, it's blocking apoptosis of those cancer cells. So we want to dislodge the dirty estrogens, and that's what the Halen 951 does, to allow for other things to bind to the receptor sites, like vitamin D can bind to that receptor site. Once it's cleared out of that dirty estrogen, vitamin D can bind to it, stimulate apoptosis of those cells. So if we haven't, I'll check and see if we did test you on it, and we can kind of follow up with that. But yes, we do test patients for it. Let's see, I am taking Essiac pills, IP6 gold pills, dandelion pills, artemisinin pills to help kill the cancer. Can you tell me how many pills I should be taking of each? So I can't tell you directly without looking at your protocol. So you can send me an email and to remind me, and we can look at this. So if it's something that we have recommended, obviously we will have a dose for you. If it's something that we have not recommended and you are just taking them because you would like to add them to your protocol, then we typically would just have you follow the directions on the label. But I can follow up with you on that. I was diagnosed with stomach cancer. I have, oh, whoops, that just shifted. Okay. I was diagnosed with stomach cancer. I have weak blood vessels and nitric oxide was suggested. Please help me understand the effects of nitric oxide. Are there any other alternatives? I'm praying for something to help with that. And I also have low red blood cells. So yeah, so sometimes, it is, kind of something that we need to weigh the pros and cons on. Some things that might be good for general health reasons maybe are not so good for cancer reasons. So it is kind of a fine line, and we have to weigh that. And certainly if you decide to take something that maybe isn't so great for cancer, maybe we can test and implement some more cancer balancing or cancer fighting things. But specifically for nitric oxide, and the reason that we hesitate with anything that promotes nitric oxide is because of what it does to the blood vessels. It relaxes the blood vessels, and so it can encourage blood flow, which can be a great thing for the cardiovascular system, but it is not so great for cancer, because anything that is going to encourage blood flow can encourage blood flow to cancer cells. And so we just need to try to manage that. So there are some other things that we can do to kind of help encourage low red blood cells. And, I can specifically follow up with this person to kind of make maybe some recommendations. I know you're already taking some B12, you're taking the right form of that. So that is great. Maybe we need to look at some food sources. So I'll follow up with you specifically. But yes, in general, we don't want patients taking a supplement form of anything that is going to encourage nitric oxide production. Let's see. I missed the first couple minutes. Is this a new Q&A in addition to the Wednesday? Yes, it is a new Q&A. So every Monday at noon, I will be doing this Q&A session. And Dr. Connors is still obviously doing the Wednesday at 4 o'clock. So hopefully this will be a benefit to everyone, and we can get some additional questions answered. And as I did in this Zoom call, if I'm not sure, I don't know, or I feel like it would be better answered by Dr. Connors, I'll pass it on, pass a question on to him so he can address it. Let's see. I sent in a cheek swab last Wednesday. Haven't received the results yet. I have asked about taking artemisinin at least 3 times and it's never been recommended. Is it AK tested? Yes, so it can be AK tested, and we can, patients can take it where if they're doing the iron artemisinin protocol, it doesn't necessarily need to be tested for if iron is low, and we're going to try to attack it because it's at that point, then we can implement that. But we can test for it. And if we haven't, and you did send in a cheek swab, then I am assuming that we will be getting that swab soon, and we can definitely test for it and make specific recommendations. What exactly are what exactly are balancers? So balancers are something to balance cancer. So in our testing, we're looking to determine cause, we're looking to determine specific cancer balancers for each individual. So that is the specific supplements that are targeted to balance cancer or fight your cancer specifically. So there's hundreds of nutraceuticals that can be great for fighting cancer or have anti-cancer properties. But that doesn't mean that everyone should take all of those things, because everyone is different. And one thing might be working to fight somebody's cancer and they might have the same diagnosis as another person, but it's not working for that other person. So our testing is specific on what is coming up as the balancer for every individual person's cancer. So that's part of what we're testing. And so our protocol includes those cancer balancers for you, and it's listed as, either cancer fighting supplements or a cancer balancing supplement. So if you look in your binder, in your AK results page that everybody should have, it should list cancer balancers, and those are your specific cancer balancers. And obviously those change with subsequent testing. And so you might, that might change with subsequent testing. All right. That seems to be all of the questions that came in on the chat, and all that came in through the Zoom question format. Whoops, maybe just got one more. Let's see. Oh, you're welcome. I look forward to hearing if there are other options. I assume you will send me an email. My hands and feet are tingly and cold. Yes, that can be, yes, low nitric oxide, so that can decrease circulation. I do take a raw beet each day, so that's fine. So that's, food form, so that's fine. So yes, I will reach out to you via email and see if there's anything else that we can do other than taking that supplement that you sent me. So, all right, everyone. Well, hopefully this was helpful. And I encourage everybody to use, use the blog, use the membership site, search your questions out. Dr. Connors puts a lot of time and effort into kind of creating these videos. And so any question that you have, just key it into that search bar. There most likely is a video to help you understand your question. And thank you for submitting your questions. It's good to have everybody hear these answers, even though obviously I know, you're listening to other people's questions, but it's good to learn. It's good to, it might be something that helps you in the future, or it might answer a question that you didn't even know that you had. So we look forward to these opportunities to help educate and guide you guys. We are praying for each and every one of you. I know a lot of questions cannot be answered by us, but we just encourage you to, turn to God, turn to prayer, turn to what makes the most sense for you, what feels right for you, what gives you peace, and we will walk alongside you with whatever decision that you are going to make. Know that we have protocols designed to help with conventional therapies or scans or things that you're doing. So just keep us in the loop with everything and know that we are praying for you guys. Have a wonderful rest of your Monday. Dr. Connors, of course, will be back on Wednesday at 4 p.m. Central Time. All right, you guys, have a good day. Bye-bye.